Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Alex, and today on the Puck Luck channel, we are going to talk about the St. Louis Blues, your Stanley Cup winners. But before we get into that, obviously, make sure you subscribe if you're new, and like the video, and go check out my other ones. They're pretty good. Let's get into this video. That was a weird intro, but we got coffee again today. When do I not have coffee? Honestly. ASMR. No, anyways, so the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup yesterday in a 4-1 fashion and a 4-0 game basically until about like 2 minutes left, where the Boston Bruins pulled their goalie, scored a pretty nice goal on a bar down. But besides that, it was a pretty much Bruins game, but a Blues win. That's basically how I'm putting it. The Bruins dominated the game, but Binnington was their superstar and making all the saves. That's the headline for today. And obviously, Mr. Bennington saved them the game, and the Blues capitalized on the opportunities that they got. The Blues play a system where they box themselves in and don't allow anything else to happen, and pretty much just create like zero chances. And I thought genuinely, oh shoot, like the Blues are gonna get dominated this game when I started watching, because they were just getting like, shot after shot, the Bruins, and I thought, well, the Blues are looking a little shaky there, but Binnington didn't, and he seemed to be pretty good. So he clearly proved us all wrong and worked hard to save a lot of really good shots early. And, with about, I think it was like 3 or 4 minutes left in the first period, the Blues go on to score their first goal. And then with about, I think it was like 8 seconds left in the first, they score their second goal on a terrible, terrible change by Brad Marchand. And it gives them 2-0, and the crowd is silent. They go to intermission thinking, wow, what are we going to do? We're down 2-0 in a Stanley Cup final. Second period, nothing happens. It's a completely dead period. Not like there's maybe one chance for St. Louis that was like crazy. It bounced off Rask, it hit the crossbar, and then the defenseman and Rask like twist around to save it. And it's a pretty crazy scenario, but that's the craziest thing that happened in the second. And then the third is when it started to get pretty interesting. The third was the best period. Like, if you were to ask me, hey, when should I have started watching this game? I'd say the third period is when you should watch this game. It was the most interesting. The Bruins obviously dominated the period, although the shots were equal, 10-10. But it wasn't really a game that, if you're a real, like, hold on. Let me finish what I was saying before. The Bruins don't score any goals. The Blues capitalize on 2 more opportunities, making it 3-0, and then a dagger late to make it 4-0, and then the Bruins score 1 more goal, and it's over. And they win the Stanley Cup, the St. Louis Blues. What I was going to say was, this game, if you're not a hockey fan and you're trying to watch the sport for the first time, Stanley Cup final, kind of like people in Canada are watching the basketball games, it's interesting because this was a very entertaining and pleasing game for people who play hockey and watch a lot of hockey, because this is a very structured and well-defended game, and I enjoyed it because of how tactically well played it was for the Blues, and how well they were playing and blocking shots and clearing the pucks out of the front of the net in the lanes, and they were clearing them out of the slot and putting them into the corners. I enjoyed that aspect of the game. But if you're not a very avid watcher of hockey and kind of watch it time to time, and maybe this is your first game, this was a very boring game for you, I have to say. But like I said, for me, I play hockey. I like, I play pretty much every position except for defense and goalie. It was a very fun series, at least game to watch them play such a structured game, and they did this throughout the playoffs. It isn't something new, but it's quite amazing how Boston just couldn't figure it out. It seemed like they were scared, in my opinion. It seemed like Boston got the puck and they wanted to deke around the net and score, but they just couldn't. Like, they were scared to make a mistake because of the way the Blues were playing, sort of pressuring, but also like creating these gaps where if the Bruins were to lose the puck, they'd leave a lot of open space and a lot of open ice for the Blues to go up and score. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's the Stanley Cup Finals. Wow, I'm sorry. This is Stanley Cup Finals, and you want to go up and do everything you can for your team, but you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to be that reliability. The only person on that team that was trying to do that was probably the first line for the Bruins. Mostly Brad Marchand was the only one going up the ice and trying to do it all himself. But besides that, every other player on the Bruins was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna dump and chase and stuff like that. Even Patrice Bergeron was dumping and chasing quite a bit in that third period, I saw. But the Blues handled it really well and just kept getting rid of that puck, and there's nothing you can say. It was a well-deserved win because of the tactical way that they played the game. Was it entertaining hockey? Not really. It was probably the least entertaining game we've seen ever in a Game 7 situation. But it was just a well-won game, well-fought and well thought out by the coaching, and he just got out-coached, really. If you want to look at it that way, they both were great coaches, obviously brought their team to the Stanley Cup, and the Blues coach, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, he just out-coached Boston, and that's just what happens sometimes. It also felt like Boston was like, we've been here before, so we don't need to work so hard towards it. And that led to them being pretty soft on a lot of pucks and a lot of plays. And it kind of just fell through like that. And last but not least, I predicted, obviously, the Blues to win, and I was right. So high five to me. But no, I said I don't want any penalties. The only penalty called in the entire game, which was in the first period, was a delay of game. And you cannot call that. I mean, it's obvious what it is. But besides that, nothing was called after. Whistles were tucked under their armpits, like I said. Quote me on that. And they just played hockey. And it was really fun because there was trippings and there were questionable hits from behind. And actually, one of the hits from behind earlier by a Boston player on a St. Louis player wasn't called, and then the same thing vice versa happened on the Blues, or to the Boston Bruins from the Blues, and that actually led to a goal. And it's interesting, you'd probably be like, oh, I should have been boarding, but if you're not going to call it on each team, you don't call it at all. And that's what I liked about this game. There were tripping calls, there were maybe slashes, there were hits that were questionable, but because it was happening on both sides of the ice, it evened out, and they let them figure it out for themselves, what the frick, there's a fly. There's a fly in here. I like that they figured out for themselves and they let them play hockey and didn't intervene. It was a great game for that thing, and it just came out to the best team and the team that really wanted it more. And I thought, yeah, the Blues really do want it more. And it was just a great game to watch from a person who watches a lot of hockey. So it was fun. The last thing I want to say is that when Pietrangelo picked up the Stanley Cup for the first time, I thought, okay, he's going to pick this up, he's going to walk around with it, he's going to be happy, he's captain. Their team was in 31st position in January. They're going to have a great time lifting this cup, especially him, a leader of his team. And what does he do? He gave it away, literally like 6 seconds right after getting rid of it. What a guy. What a captain. That's all I have to say. I mean, that's amazing. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe. I did make a video on the St. Louis Blues. I actually recorded the last 10 minutes of the period, and then we watched a little bit of them, kind of raising the Stanley Cup, right? I uploaded that to the channel. It took a while to upload, and lo and behold, I got copyrighted, which I knew I was going to, but I didn't think that YouTube would block it from their site. And it is on the site, but you guys can't see it anymore. Which I'm going to make a video on that and why that is ridiculous. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Subscribe if you're new. See ya.